Gotta talk about some of those cards you might want to pick up from Blazing Dominion. Now make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that Fairy Tale button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So Fairy Tale is definitely one of the funner themes out of this set. Actually giving you a good, consistent track record of consistency. You get a tie-in to the Charmers, which I know a lot of the player base looks at the Charmer stuff, and I know a lot of players were kind of hoping for something. So this actually kind of creates extra consistency with the Spellcaster pile, which is actually kind of cool. And obviously, you know, you got a comp, you have the big boss monster being a secret rare for this, which is a little bit disappointing, but you know, there's always going to be a premium to build something along the way. If we do get Fairy Tale Snow back in the future, this deck will become a lot better. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But for now, you're looking at just a pretty decent casual experience that you can kind of pick up and actually enjoy. And that is kind of what you want to see in this particular blocker. Now we have Predaplants. Now, Predaplants got some very interesting tools, which you've got to remember we have the Overframe set coming later on in the year. When that Overframe set does drop, you will get an incredibly new copy of the Starving Venom Dragon, or the that you can use, which will actually kind of strengthen these cards a little bit, which will be nice. But until that time comes, you're kind of stuck working with the tools you got in this set. I will say, in terms of what we got with this set, I think there are some very good tools in here. You finally have access to some of the synchro stuff, which, I mean, the fact that you also got the little clear wing synchro integration with your combo line is kind of funny. I will have to wait and see, though, how the Predaplant stuff is going to shape up. It did have a little bit of a run in the OCG. It wasn't anything great, but it was pretty strong. Now, we also have Drastia, because I wanted to separate this. While Drastia is absolutely Predaplant support, it encompasses the entirety of the plant deck as a whole. And that's kind of something that you got to think about here is how good is Plant Circular? Pretty gosh darn good. Being able to mill down any plant from your deck is going to open up some doors to the plant toolbox. Whether or not, you know, you believe that this is going to be a good thing or not, I'm actually kind of excited to see how players are going to try to break this, because once again, it just feels like one of those great strong cards that could just potentially change the tide of, you know, the game, just having an additional starter to be able to do level modification shenanigans with. Say no more, man. Like, that's the kind of stuff that we live for in these games. The Charmer Quartet in Bloom. This card is a ticking crazy level of nuts later on in its life, because this thing has the ability, so it gains 300 attack for each different attribute on the field, but once, while this card is face up on the field, keep that in mind. We can target 2 monsters in your graveyard with the same attribute but different types. Alright, or same types but different attributes. Special summon both, also until the end of the next turn. This card and the special summon monsters cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, Xyz, or a link summon. This is a link 4 that can bring back 2 bodies. I have seen some very disgusting stuff with this in Dark Magician in the OCG, and I am not, like, particularly crazy about having that level of interaction come to the TCG, but I gotta put it on the list, because there's gonna be somewhere, somehow, somebody's gonna look at this and they're gonna go, oh, wow. Subspace Battle. There have been a lot of really funny interactions with Subspace Battle that people have talked about, because it's just, both of us play a game 3 times. Whatever monsters with the lowest attack get destroyed, but we cannot use any monster effects of the monsters of the revealed origins that we revealed. So, obviously, you're probably like, what's the point in this card? It's graveyard setup. If you need to, like, Foolish Burial down specific combo pieces, the casual player is going to look at this and they're going to go, oh, this is just, I could technically set up some fusion pieces. Yes, you could. The Blue Eyes Ultimate Fusion, for example, reveal 3 Blue Eyes. get them all to your hand. There are things, well, actually it has to, I think they have to be effect monsters. But anyway, you get what I'm saying here. It's the fact that you get access to these different types of monsters, and also this card is like not real money. I'm actually pretty impressed with this one. We also have Miracle Ejector. Hero players are so happy right now. You now get access to Foolish Burial, any Neospatian. It recruits for a hero spell and trap card, and it bumps something out of the graveyard. Like, truly, this card was one of the things that we have been waiting for. Now, obviously, the fact that, we're not going to be able to get this in a higher rarity is kind of disappointing, but I would rather have the card be legal here at this juncture than not have it be playable at all. I do think that this does help heroes, or at least it pushes the Neospatian build to the top of the ceiling here for us to have some consideration for. And that's fine. We want different ideas to be playable within the meta, and I think this one is going to be a very, very good one. Well, once again, I mean, for like the casual aspect of things, Miracle Ejector is a very, very good card. Now, trains, lots and lots of them are finally coming. We finally get the urgent schedule setup machine, which is going to be just fine. You got a couple secret paywalls behind this, but I don't really think that's much of an issue. You got to remember, when you're looking at the way that this deck wants to play, it's always been a bunch of big guys in combination with the way that the deck wants to play. As long as you can keep the Congo line of the large trains going, and you can arrive at your destination, I mean, like, it usually ends up getting you pretty good end boards. Obviously, you got new end board pieces, which are going to be pretty strong. I'm actually kind of excited to see what that's going to be able to do. So, if you are a train enjoyer, and you've played this deck in the past, having those new upgrades is going to feel fantastic. Like, your deck is actually going to feel like it's pursuing an actual decent end board, for sure. Now we have the Unleash Power Patron Portal Terminus. Now this card is probably one of the more interesting cards in this set, because it has to send a Power Patron monster from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard. But your payoff for this is you get to add a Dark Fairy monster from your deck to your hand, and you cannot declare attacks with things for the rest of this turn except for Power Patrons. And at the start of the damage step, if your Power Patron monster battles an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard, banish face down that opponent's monster. The only thing you care about on this is the Dark Fairy Searcher. Konami actually gave Dark Lords a Searcher. There will be a interaction with this that players are going to look at, and they're going to be like, oh, this is pretty cool. You can bet that this card is really, really cool. I am actually super excited to get my hands on this, finally, because this will strengthen Dark Lords a lot, and that's a good thing. Now, we've also got GMX. So Wave 2 of GMX gave the deck a little bit more of an identity. The problem is like, this deck feels like it doesn't really know where it wants to go in terms of its build-up. You're kind of making dinosaur slop at this point, which kind of stinks. Like, that's become dinosaur's identity, but it's kind of the same thing as zombies, right? Like, it's just a bunch of good cards slapped together that, until the deck is able to kind of bridge into something else, we're just kind of left in a really weird time with it. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with this one. I do think if you are somebody that does like having the cores, obviously picking up the Wave 2 of this is a must to have, just so you can go, well, if it does get a Wave 3 by the OCG standards, then, it will get a little bit better. But we'll have to wait and see where that one goes. And then Clowns. Budget, effectiveness, tribute draw power. The Clowns check the mark for every good card in this particular set. Like, honestly, if there is a chunk of good stuff out of this set that I am excited for, I think it's going to be the Clowns. Because you get so much good power with such a cheap version of the engine. It's good. So, Budget Yu-Gi-Oh! Rejoice, you got a W for once. And that's an absolute win. I'm super excited for that. So what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Clowns, it's going to be good. Patrons! Thank you! Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.